2. It tells you that men are hesitant to pursue women now because most women are not approachable and most of them do not want to have families of their own. For both points, you have the extreme feminine ideology to blame, which creates this societal pressure for women to pursue their careers, instead of being mothers and wives and living their lives in comfort, free from the rat race, and happy with a life of caring and nurturing their children. I think the ideas of settling down and raising families need to be made cool again, because people automatically assume when you want to settle down that it's a negative thing, or that you must have not achieved something in life, and that is why you're settling down. That creates even more pressure on men and women to conform to society's warped standards. Here's another thing I don't get. When it comes to women, changing age-old traditions is celebrated. When it comes to men, tradition is considered honorable, which men must abide by. Do you see the contradiction here? Why are men subject to such double standards and expected to support women emotionally, physically, and most importantly financially, when women get to celebrate breaking traditional aspects of society and culture? If men are held to ancient traditions such as providing, protecting, and caring for women for the rest of their lives, shouldn't women be held to the same ancient standards? Shouldn't women then be expected to live their lives to make their men happy, cook warm meals, and raise children? Shouldn't women be told that this is how a good woman should live her life? The fact is, women need men for every sort of assistance as they age. Some women might deny this, and they will, but that doesn't change the fact that women have not been able to get by without the help of a man, ever, throughout our history. An old man will still be able to take care of himself by roughing it out and getting back on his feet. Will a woman be able to do that? I don't think so. They need constant care, attention, validation, and a sense of security and support to live a peaceful life. Otherwise, they become bitter and hard to be around when they're old and single. Husbands typically pass away before their spouses. It also makes sense why the man would wish to end his life early if you give it some thought. However, a leftover lady might look rather wonderful for her age due to the wonders of modern science. Overall, leftover women are terrible candidates for relationships. Even honorable ladies are aware of this terrible reality and openly admit that they prefer being correct and domineering to being happy. The remaining women delay having children, like imposing their ideals while spreading the gospel of tolerance and freedom, and feel oppressed simply for being female. They rarely acknowledge the fact that being a woman is far more advantageous than being a man. Modern women did everything they could to capture and have the essence of power they thought would make them happy by working the corporate ladder up until their 40s, but realized a little too late that they had a natural need to nurture families, settle down, have a loving relationship with men, and become good mothers. And now, with everything they were fed by feminist ideology, they can't even admit that they should have rather gone down the traditional path and lived their life in alignment with their female nature. Perhaps we will see a shift in the next generations and women will rather play their traditional gender role and realize how happy they can be. We'll have to wait and see. But it's really happening, guys. There are more leftover women today in the world than there ever were before. And I believe it's only going to stop when young women realize how flawed the ideologies they're following now really are, and how they're blinding them to real happiness that exists in being true to their feminine nature and being nurturers of their families instead of strong and independent career women that no man wants. As we come close to the start of a new year, mark my words, we will see more lonely women this year than we have ever seen before. Thanks for watching The Circle of Kings. As always, we're looking forward to your support. So please hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel to stay updated with everything all kings like yourself need to know. Society does not stigmatize or frown upon women who glorify breaking traditions. Among many others, the fact that older women still look beautiful and that 45 is the new 25 is therefore constantly pushed as an acceptable social narrative. The government doesn't want to support these folks, since doing so would quickly deplete Social Security and other programs. Then, given that women outnumber males in the United States, they will band together and work to persuade men to help older women if they find themselves in a position where they are single and in need of a man's assistance. What do they then do? They shame men for wanting to date younger women and create propaganda about why they intend to do that. On the other hand, if a woman decides to be with a younger man or even a man 20 years over her age, she will get celebrated for wanting to live life as per her convictions and be hailed as a hero. People know that unless a woman is rich or is financially successful, because of her career or perhaps her inheritance, she'll need to lean on someone for financial support for the rest of her life. People understand that. It's all about making women secure. It's amazing how modern women line up when you have a good career and are flush with cash. However, one must remember that every woman is by trade a surgeon, as they are skilled in performing surgery on your income or the removal of your wallet and resources, while you are anesthetized with a drug called testosterone. If the laws ever change, maybe you have a chance. But not now, or even soon. If you come to think of it, and if you see men and women around you, you will notice that more and more men want to be in serious and committed relationships with women, while more women want to monkey branch off to other men and stay true to their hypergamous nature, spending time with one guy and then jumping onto the next one. I saw an image on Twitter yesterday that showed a group of goth men and women with tattoos and piercings on one side with the heading that labeled them as rebels before, and then on the other side of the image I saw this beautiful woman holding a baby walking around in a farm with vegetables and farm animals in the background, and the heading on it said, "Rebels Now." And it's true, guys. If you look around, what was considered eccentric and weird back 2 to 3 decades is now considered the norm, and to break out of it, you have to rebel and fight against a society that keeps pushing its agendas down your throat. If you want to get married early and raise a family, people will start questioning your sanity and think that there's something wrong with you or that you're trying to do something wrong. Back then, it was acceptable for a family to live together in one house as a big unit supporting each other. But now, everyone wants to move out when they're 18 and start paying for their own house. And if you come across someone who's living with their parents in their 30s, supporting them with bills and being physically there for them to help them, you're frowned upon, as if there's something wrong with you or if you're just someone who doesn't have any other place to stay. This is the norm in Eastern countries that rely a lot on their values and traditions of family. In countries such as Thailand or the Philippines or even India and Pakistan, you will see that most families live together in big homes where they all support each other and help each other grow, without burdening anyone with extra bills or any other thing. And if you pull up the statistics, you will notice that most immigrants from these countries have a higher average annual income than other groups and even local populations, because they tend to live in one home, which allows them to support each other. To any Western person, this concept is weird, and for any Western person to do this would mean to be a rebel against society and the Western system, which most are now realizing is highly flawed in so many ways. But the rise of lonely, single, leftover women is frightening in the West because it tells you 2 important things. 1, it tells you that women are not marrying or finding partners and settling down with men in their 20s when they're at their fertile, most prime and have the energy to give birth and tend to their children. Instead, they're chasing corporate dreams and sucking up to CEOs and executives just so they can join the crazy rat race and climb the career ladder.